So let's call our first panel of witnesses to the table. I'd like to welcome these witnesses and thank them for testifying today. I want to make one thing clear. While your companies are those that have been directly linked to the illnesses, the CDC acknowledges that, that their products, your products, do not explain all of the illnesses associated with this Salmonella outbreak. There are many other companies that purchase products from PCA and have contributed to the Salmonella outbreak. These companies have been cooperative, have voluntarily come forward, and they've worked with the CDC, FDA, and others to try to get our hands around this Salmonella outbreak, the largest food outbreak of foodborne illness in our country. So I'd like to welcome our panel. And first we have Mr. Martin Kanan, who is the President and Chief Executive Officer of the King Nut Company based in Ohio. We have Mr. David Mackay, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Kellogg Company based in Michigan. And we have Ms. Heather Isley, who is the co-owner of the Vitamin Cottage Natural Food Markets Incorporated based in Colorado. Welcome you all. It's the policy of this subcommittee to take our testimony under oath. Please be advised that under the rules of the House, you have the right to have and be advised by counsel during your testimony. Do any of you wish to have counsel with you and wish to be advised by counsel during your testimony? Mr. Ken, would you just identify who they are for the record?
Push the button.
Yeah.
I have Valoria Hoover and Ann Corrigan.
Okay. Mr. Mackay?
Yes, so I have Charles Sklasky.
Okay, very good. Ms. Isley? Yep.
I have with me Mr. Barnett from Steptoe & Johnson.
Okay. During the testimony, if we ask questions, if you want to consult with them or be advised by them, that's great, but you'd be the one who would answer the questions, okay? All right, I'm going to ask you to please rise and raise your right hand and take the oath. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, matter pending before this committee? Okay, let the record reflect that witnesses have replied in the affirmative. They are now under oath. We will hear a 5-minute opening statement. We have your longer statements you've submitted for the record. I and others, I'm sure, of the committee have read your opening statements. So if you want to give us 5 minutes, please, we would appreciate it. Mr. Cannon, let's start with you. Am I saying that right? Cannon? Kanan. Got it.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the subcommittee. My name is Martin Kanan, and I'm the President and CEO of Kanan Enterprises, better known as King Nut. We're a family-owned and operated business and are a leading national supplier of snack nuts and other snack foods. Let me begin by saying something you've heard many times. The health and safety of those who consume our products is our first priority. Kanan has always reviewed its processes to identify lessons learned. Such continuous improvement is how we grew from 25 employees in 1989 to almost 200 today. Our union-run facilities by the Teamsters produce nearly 500 million bags of products per year, none of which is associated with this outbreak. We began selling peanut butter because our customers asked us for it. However, we are not a peanut butter manufacturer. In early 2004, PCA started as King Nut's private labeler of peanut butter. This means they supplied us finished product in a sealed container, packed by them, with our label put on by them in a closed and finished case. Throughout the 5 years of doing business with PCA, we received spec sheets for their products highlighting that no salmonella be present. We also received several continuing pure food guarantees that stated any product shipped to us would be unadulterated, safe, and free from any substance which would harm the consumer. They also gave us certificates of insurance, a total quality systems audit summary report, a letter from Stuart Parnell, PCA's president, extolling a superior rating from AIB, and assurances that PCA had a HACCP plan in place. Late in the relationship, we received COAs that showed negative results for Salmonella. By the end of 2008, we distributed the PCA peanut butter to 7 food service distributors. We did not suspect health issues existed with the PCA product until we were contacted by the Minnesota Department of Agriculture. We were the very first in the United States to do the voluntary recall for any product associated with this Salmonella outbreak. On Wednesday, January 7th, we received a call from the MDA informing us they were investigating the Salmonella incidents. They wanted to know who manufactured the King Nut peanut butter, and we told them it was PCA. When we contacted PCA, Stuart Parnell, their president, informed us he had no knowledge of a salmonella issue. On the next day, FDA investigators came to our facilities. We produced bills of ladings and COAs from PCA. We asked the FDA to take samples of the peanut butter to test, but they declined. Therefore, on the same day, we sent samples ourselves of the lots of peanut butter we had in-house to be tested. Also on the same day, we received a second call from the MDA informing us that the peanut butter was a possible suspect from an open container that had been sent out for testing. The next day, Friday, January 9th, the FDA investigators again returned to our facility. We informed them we did not use any peanut butter in any of the products we manufactured. Several hours later, the FDA investigators then took samples of the peanut butter we had for testing. At 4:30 that Friday afternoon, we received news from the MDA that sampling from the open container of peanut butter had a presumptive positive for Salmonella and that the subtype would not be confirmed until the following week. Now, even though it was a single container, and even though it was only a presumptive positive, we decided to do the recall. We did not want to wait for PCA. Our biggest concern was for the health and safety of our customers. So prior to noon that Saturday, January 10th, over the weekend, we initiated the first product recall associated with this Salmonella outbreak. We recalled all of the PCA peanut butter that King Nut distributed in 2008. All of our 7 food service distributors were aware of the recall that same afternoon. That day, we also issued a nationwide press release as we did not know who might the ultimate customer or consumer be. On Monday, January 12th, the FDA investigators again came to gather more information. We were also called and informed that 4 of the 13 samples from that open container had tested positive for Salmonella typhimurium. This confirmed that our quick reaction to the presumptive positive was the right thing to do. 3 days after we initiated the recall, PCA did. As this subcommittee is aware, PCA's recall has been expanded many times. We, along with those in our industry and the consumers, were shocked and dismayed at findings that PCA knowingly released product with potential Salmonella contamination into the food supply. The test results from our January 8th in-house samples were negative. To this day, FDA has not told us the results of those January 9th samples they took from our warehouse. Now, while I believe that the American food supply is one of the safest in the world, Canaan Enterprises continues to be committed to work at rebuilding public confidence in the American food safety system. I want to be a part of making things better for our country's food supply. In this specific case of PCA, I must reiterate that we did not have control over the production nor the processing of this product. While most food manufacturers practice safe production, storage, and handling of food ingredients, it is apparent if someone lacks the integrity and honesty, they will always be able to find ways to bypass any quality assurance or food safety program. We need to let the American public know that we have better systems in place to react quickly, to correct our problems, and punish the wrongdoer. This is a tragedy for all of those involved, the victims, the families, our industry. I thank you for this opportunity to discuss these issues with you, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Mr. Mackay, your opening statement, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the subcommittee. I'm David Mackay, President and CEO of the Kellogg Company. We sell our products here and in more than 180 countries and employ more than 32,000 people. First and foremost, we deeply regret that the recent Salmonella recall situation occurred and that it involved Kellogg products. We apologise to our customers and consumers, especially those who have become ill from one of our products. We, just like members of the subcommittee, federal and state regulators, medical professionals and the general public, are deeply disturbed by the events we've learned of over the past 2 months with respect to Peanut Corporation of America. We thank the subcommittee for the opportunity to discuss these important issues, in particular, how we can work together to strengthen the safety of the U.S. food supply. PCA has essentially poisoned the well for an industry in which most companies are honest and trustworthy and pride themselves on delivering safe, wholesome products that consumers expect and deserve. The PCA situation has shown that if a company chooses to ignore even basic food safety principles, food safety systems and protections can be compromised. One of our governing values is to have the humility and hunger to learn. With that focus, our food safety program operates on the principle that food safety is a process of continuous improvement. And in that spirit, and as a result of what we've learned from this unfortunate situation, we've taken several immediate actions to enhance our food safety efforts. We established new Kellogg cross-functional teams, including quality, food safety and engineering groups, to audit suppliers of high-risk ingredients, and have completed these on-site audits of our peanut and peanut paste ingredient suppliers. We're also requiring these suppliers to conduct environmental testing and monitoring in their plants, which we believe from our own practices is pivotal in identifying, assessing and correcting potential contamination before it becomes a major food safety problem. And we're strengthening our internal food safety training and education across our supply chain. In the US food safety system, we believe the key to enhancement is a renewed focus on prevention so that potential sources of contamination are identified and properly addressed before they become actual food safety problems. My written statement outlines our recommendations. However, I'd like to provide highlights of our proposals. We support the following 9 industry and government enhancements. 1, establish a single food safety authority under Health and Human Services, supported by a Food Safety Advisory Council to strengthen and maximise the efficiency of regulatory oversight. 2, establish an International Food Protection Training Institute to train government and industry inspectors. 3, improve current good manufacturing practices, or GMPs, which have not been updated for over 22 years. 4, develop food safety plans for every food facility that are based on a thorough risk assessment and contain verification systems and preventative controls. 5, require annual FDA inspections of facilities that produce high-risk foods. 6, require test results and corrective actions to be disclosed to FDA at that annual inspection. 7, develop consistent food manufacturing audit standards and accredit auditors and the audit firms. 8, provide FDA with mandatory recall authority to expedite necessary recalls. And finally, 9, review possibilities for enhancing traceability standards. Kellogg is firmly committed to working together with Congress, industry and other stakeholders to evaluate and advance these recommendations. I look forward to discussing them with you today, and I want to thank you on behalf of the company and our employees for this opportunity to discuss these important issues, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Mackay. Ms. Inslee, your opening statement, please.
Good morning, Chairman.
I'm going to ask you to pull that mic up a little bit so we can hear you.
Can you? Okay. Good morning, Chairman Stupak, Ranking Member Walden, and members of the subcommittee. My name is Heather C. Isley, and I am Executive Vice President and part owner of Vitamin Cottage Natural Food Markets, Inc. We very much appreciate the opportunity to provide our input to the subcommittee on our involvement with the Peanut Corporation of America and to provide insight on how outbreaks like this one are dealt with by small chain retailers. Vitamin Cottage was established in 1955 by my parents. They started the business by going door to door in Golden, Colorado, selling whole grain bread and sharing nutrition information with people they met. I started working for my parents at the store when I was 9 years old. Our goals have always been the same: providing exceptional customer service, extensive nutrition education, and the highest quality products at affordable prices. For over 30 years, Natural Grocers has offered fresh-grown peanut butter. Our employees make peanut butter in the store by running dry roasted peanuts through a small grinder. For the past few years, the dry roasted peanuts for this product have been purchased from PCA from its Plainview, Texas facility. Until the PCA outbreak, Natural Grocers has never had any adverse health issues associated with its peanut butter. The timeline with respect to developments related to PCA-supplied products is well known. For our part, despite continuing quality assurances from personnel at the PCA Texas plant, Natural Grocers quarantined its inventory of PCA peanut products on January 28th. On January 30th, Natural Grocers preemptively and voluntarily recalled all related products and began notifying customers to return all previously purchased fresh ground peanut butter. We have detailed how we subsequently worked with the government authorities in our written testimony. As a family-owned retailer, we are deeply concerned about the obvious breakdown in the regulatory system that brought about the PCA-based outbreak. We need effective laws and regulations that ensure we and our customers can buy food with confidence in its safety. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to testify before the subcommittee and welcome any questions you may have.